like cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend. And if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop videos on this Straight Game, please just hit the bell notification. It's very much appreciated. I'm going to get right into it. The question today comes from a young lady from Atlanta, Georgia, and her question is did Suge Knight have a life insurance policy on Tupac Shakur before he died? And was Suge Knight in any way involved with the death or setting up Tupac Shakur? I'm going to give it to you like this. There's been various stories, myths, fables, rumors, or whatever you want to call it in regards to Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight's relationship. And I want you to understand this first and foremost. Tupac was his own man, and Tupac handled his business accordingly. And so when you ask that question, people have a tendency to think that Tupac was somehow being pigeonholed, if you will, in regards to the situation and dealing with Suge Knight and Death Row, and that's simply not true. The answer to your first question as to did Suge Knight have a life insurance policy on Tupac Shakur, the answer to that question is absolutely not. And in the answer to your second question involving whether Suge Knight was involved in any way in the death or setting Tupac Shakur up, I'm going to have to tell you, to a lot of people's chagrin, absolutely not. And so when we get into this, I actually have a life insurance delivery notice in regards to Tupac Shakur. This is exclusive news right here, Straight Game TV. And get it right into it. This life insurance policy was signed with Massachusetts General Life Insurance, 7887 East Bellevue Avenue, Inglewood, Colorado. And what I tried to tell people before, because there was a situation in the video that I did involving Tupac's then manager, Watani Tahimba, and I tried to explain to people Tupac trusted certain people. You know what I mean? A lot of times Tupac didn't trust people in his immediate family. And like I said, because unaware of what they might do at that particular time, or like I said, for whatever his reasons were. And Watani Tahimba, his then manager, was someone that Tupac trusted. And so when Tupac got out of jail, he basically fired Watani Tahimba, or let him go, because now Suge Knight would be then taken over as his manager. And up until that point, Mr. Tahimba was his manager. And so this life insurance policy that I have, the delivery notice was sent to Mr. Tahimba's house. And, most people might not find that interesting that it wouldn't be sent to his mother's house, that it wasn't, in her name, or so on and so forth. And like I said, so a lot of people don't understand, like Tupac trusted certain people, and Mr. Tahimba was one of them. And so at this particular time, Mr. Tahimba, he lived on Old Wesley Chapel Road, Suite 105 in Decatur, Georgia. And basically the life insurance policy proposed insured Tupac A. Shakur. The policy number is 10900600577. The delivery date on the life insurance policy was 10/20/1992, signed by Tupac Shakur in the city and state Decatur, Georgia, on the date of 10 13, 1992. And the good part about this is the beneficiary, from what I understand, of the life insurance policy that Tupac did have in place. Like I said, Suge Knight did not have a life insurance policy on Tupac. The beneficiary of the life insurance policy, as I'm aware of, was his sister, Setchua Shakur. And she's Tupac's half sister, same mother, different father. That's Mutulu Shakur's biological daughter. Mutulu Shakur was actually Tupac's stepfather. And so like I said, Tupac was smart, and most people forget, like I said, Tupac was his own man and he handled his business. But as we delve a little bit deeper into what this means is Tupac was prepared, and a lot of times, like I said, for a lot of people, they really didn't know his business. You know what I mean? They really didn't know his business. He always kept his business with the people that he trusted. And like I said, at that particular time, when I did the video in regards to Tupac being professionally jealous of Biggie, and that statement that I went on in regards to that, this is not something that I'm creating out of thin air. That statement that I made, it came from his then manager, who this life insurance policy, a delivery notice, and the person who was to receive it, if anything happened to Tupac Shakur, was his then manager, Mr. Watani Tahimba. He was the one that made the observation that Tupac basically was professionally jealous of Biggie when Tupac was in jail, and Biggie was kind of like it appeared to be on top of the world at that particular time. And so, like I said, a lot of people have been saying things, and when you ask me a question, you don't really know, Mr. Tahimba, because, like I said, he was one of those guys who really played the back. He never needed to play the front. He played his position accordingly involving Tupac's career. And so when Tupac basically signed on with Death Row, he was Mr. Tahimba was one of the people that Tupac had said that told him, and I quote, I know I'm selling my soul to the devil. You know what I mean? That's what Tupac said to Mr. Tahimba, as well as the attorney that was present, that they had went down to Dannemora, down to the prison, and seen him at that particular time. And so, like I said, when Suge Knight and Interscope and Atlantic Records went to get Tupac out, Tupac had let Mr. Tahimba go, but I'm sure they still had a relationship, as through all of Tupac's trial, when Tupac was shot, like I said, all of the things, Mr. Tahimba was right there. So when I say what I say and I bring you information, I'm only bringing you nothing but facts. Like I said, a lot of people have been speculating. I heard a number that Suge Knight supposedly had a $30 million life insurance policy on Tupac. Somebody said he had a $70 million life insurance on Tupac, and that the life insurance policy wasn't cashed in yet. And the reason why it wasn't cashed in was because it would appear that they would be profiting off of Tupac. I don't understand, or that person probably who came up with these theories and these rumors doesn't have life insurance policy. It doesn't have a life insurance policy, because some of the stuff that just gets said and then repeated and then believed and then repeated, as its facts is mind blowing. So like I said, but no, Suge didn't have a life insurance policy on Tupac Shakur. Like I said, the people who were closest to Tupac, unbeknownst to you, or may not have been information that you may have been privy to at that particular time, they handled Tupac's business for him. And as you can see, like I said, this is a legit, authentic document signed by Tupac, and like I said, and the Mr. Tahimba too. You know what I mean? And also the insurance agent at that particular time, and the date on this life insurance policy once again was 10/13/1992. So once again, if you're looking for real information, if you're looking for the facts in regards to Tupac Shakur. You know, like I said, there's been a lot of rumors. Also, it was the rumor that, you know, the reason why, you know, Suge had Tupac set up because Tupac was going to leave Death Row, and all of these other rumors and things like that. You know, that Tupac somehow Suge Knight benefited from the $30 million, the alleged $30 million life insurance policy he had on Tupac, and this one in particular, rumor came from Russell Poole, you know, the former LAPD detective Russell Poole, and he basically was the one that was going around saying that somehow, some way, Suge Knight had a $30 million life insurance policy on Tupac Shakur, which simply wasn't true. And so when you say stuff like that, and you do all of these other documentaries, and then you want to come out and have people believe what you're saying in these documentaries, it affects your credibility. And that was the whole thing that people had a problem believing, you know, who was involved with the Biggie situation versus who was involved with the Tupac situation versus, you know, it was a setup versus, you know, it was orchestrated, you know, it was this government thing, and all of these other stories that are simply not true. You know what I mean? So once again, I'm gonna say it to the sister from Atlanta, Georgia. Once again, no, Suge Knight didn't have a life insurance policy on Tupac Shakur, and no, Suge Knight was in no way involved with setting Tupac up. And you got to really think about this. You know, if they wanted to do something to Tupac, I don't think Suge Knight would have been sitting in the seat next to him while bullets are flying and whizzing past you, so much so that he got hit by one. You know what I mean? I think there could, you know, it would happen a little bit more, be a little bit more orchestrated than that, and he wouldn't have to be around if that were the case. So, like I said, once again, your boy Delray, Straight Game TV, Straight Game.